So here is the heart. This structure that's here at the top, this is the superior vena cava. It's dumping blood into the right atrium. So branching off of the superior vena cava, you have something, these veins that are draining it from the arm and then from the head. So coming from this way and then coming down. So that's why we call both of these, the right and left, brachiocephalic veins. You have the jugular vein, that's number 8, going upwards this way. And then coming over here, you have the subclavian, so that's number 11. Blood vessels that are going to branch off of the heart. So just remember B, C, and then S. So number 39, this is the brachiocephalic trunk, or the right brachiocephalic trunk. And then this one here at number 19, so this is the left common carotid. So the left common carotid is what's going upwards this way. And then this here coming off of the left side, number 40. So this is the left subclavian because it's going over here this way. So then if we follow this blood vessel up, I've already said that this is the common carotid. So that's number 7. So the common carotid goes up and then it branches. Okay, so it comes up the common carotid and then it branches into the external and then the internal. So the external is here, and then this is what branches into number 46, so this is the lingual. So then you also have number 48, this is the maxillary. And then the one that's coming over here on this side, and then you can also see it, so it's listed as number 27, that's the internal carotid. So the internal carotid, that's what's going up to give the blood supply for the brain. So if you look at what I have on the board, see the branching of the common carotid, it shows external, which is giving blood supply to a lot of different features or different areas there, compared to the internal carotid, which is helping to form what's known as the circle of Willis. So the circle of Willis, that's the blood supply for the brain. The superior sagittal sinus here at the top, and then you can also see the inferior sagittal sinus right there. And then this is the straight sinus. If I turn it over this way, that's the straight sinus. And then number 11, that's the internal carotid artery right there. On the heart, you have the pulmonary arteries, which are here in blue, and then the pulmonary veins, which are here in red. So that's also found here within the lungs. So then if you look at within the thoracic cavity, what's labeled as I, so this is the azygous vein. That's what's coming right here. So you have the azygous vein, and then the posterior intercostal arteries and veins, that's what's found here. And then J, this is the hemizygous vein. Remember that the heart sits like this, and then it branches into the descending aorta. So the descending aorta is coming from here. And then because it's within the thoracic cavity, we call this the thoracic aorta. So the thoracic aorta will continue down until it goes past the diaphragm. And then once it reaches this point, it's called the abdominal aorta. So the abdominal aorta, that's what branches into the right and the left. So it's the common iliac. So remember, it's always common before it branches. So you have the common iliac there, and then it branches into the external and then the internal iliac. This is the external iliac. So then internal iliac would be right here on internal is here on the inside. And then you can also see the gonadal artery and vein, which is coming down this way for the ovaries. This is the inferior vena cava. So this is what's coming up to get here into the right atrium. And going here, these are the kidneys. So this is the renal vein, and then you also have the renal artery. The common iliac artery and then the common iliac vein. The same thing with the branching. You put vein at the end. So for instance, this would be external iliac vein, and then on the inside would be internal iliac vein. The lumbar arteries and veins, so that's 41 right here. So now we're going to start talking about some of the intestines, like some of the blood vessels, the blood supply. So number 24, which is here, this is the superior mesenteric artery, and then this is the inferior mesenteric. So if you put this, it would sit like right up here. And so when it branches off, this is the superior mesenteric. So let me bring it closer this way. So this is the superior mesenteric, that's 24, and then this is the inferior mesenteric. So coming off superior mesenteric, you have 32, which is the middle colic, and then it branches into the right and then to the left colic. So for the right one, that's 33. For the left would be 31. So then if you know some of the basic anatomy, then the naming of it is straightforward. So you have the last part of the small intestine is the ileum, and then the large intestine is the colon. So they call this is the ileocolic artery, so which is coming down this way. And then this is the rectum, and then this is the sigmoid colon. So this is the superior rectal artery, number 29, and then number 30 over here, this is the sigmoid artery. So this is the pancreas, and this is the spleen. So if I put this back here, you'll see coming off the celiac trunk, so that's number 1. The one that goes this way towards the spleen, number 17, that's the splenic artery. And then this is the common hepatic artery. So remember, once again, it's always common before it branches. So common hepatic, that goes there. And then if you look at the liver, this is the proper hepatic artery. So that's 22. So it's giving the blood supply to the liver. Number 23, the gastroduodenal artery, and then both of these. So this one is coming from the superior mesenteric. So if I was to put the intestines back on there, all right, you can see that that's what it's merging with it on the model, number 24. Okay, so then what is this guy right here? So number 25, that's the hepatic portal vein, because when you digest food and you absorb the nutrients within the intestines, it has to be processed to the liver. So in order for that to get to the liver, it has to go through the common or the hepatic portal vein. So that's 25 coming up, and then that's what it's also listed as 25 here on the liver model. And then number 10, this is the inferior vena cava for the liver, because the liver sits in there like this, coming right here, and then the heart sits there. So one other thing was here at the bottom, so this is the inguinal ligament, and then once it goes past this, it becomes the femoral artery.